So is it visible, students?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I have hard muted everyone, so you can't unmute yourself. So if you have any questions or if you're facing difficulty with the audio or the video or the screen, just put it on the chat box. Okay, so just let me know in the chat box, is my screen visible? I'm audible clearly. Okay, yeah, right. So in previous class, I gave you few of these five questions for just to check whether your understanding is okay or not till whatever I have taught you. And I also received almost maybe I have not checked after 4:30. Up to 4:30, I had received almost 36 responses from the students. And I want to tell you one thing that many of you have submitted 2 times, right? I think maybe after submitting the first time, you got to know the correct answer from your friend and you tried to submit the second time. But whatever you have submitted for the first time, that only I will be taking as the final answer. And I will be sharing you the list, okay, the points, how much you have got out of 10. Okay, so that I will do after the class, and I hope these were and after seeing all your answers, I found that most of you have understood the things clearly. If you attempted all these five questions sincerely alone, without referring any of your or without referring to any of your friend or without referring to any of your friends' answers, right? I can see that most of you have understood the things clearly. Right. Now, I think there is no issue with the first two, three, and four problems. See, first and second are very simple because first is the one where I have given this angle. I will not try to solve full answer, but let me try to give you how to solve this. Okay. In first example, this is the angle 40 degree which is given to you. If this is the 40-degree angle, so the other angle will be this one. This will be 40 degree. Okay, because they are alternate opposite angles. So and also you can see that the force is in this direction. So if you try to resolve, the x component of the force will be like this and the y component of the force will be like this. So both are negative as per our sign convention. So the x component will be 100, sorry, x component will be 100 sine 40. Okay, and the y component will be 100 cos 40. Okay, so this is how you can solve for the first problem. First one is a bit simple one. And in the second one, I gave you the slope instead of giving you the angle. So if the slope is given to you, I told you how to solve that. So this is the slope given to you. This is 3 and this is 4. Either you can find this angle or you can find this angle. So if you try to find this angle, let me call that as theta. So theta will be equal to tan inverse of 3 by 4. So you'll get the value of theta. So if this is the theta, so it is nothing but this angle. So you can find this. Whatever you have found this angle, it is equal to this angle itself. And if you try to find out the component of this force in the x direction will be like this, and the component of this force in the y direction will be like this. So the y component is a positive one, and the x component is the negative one, as per our the sign conventions. Now when I come here, you can see two angles I have given. One is this 30 degree and one is this 40 degree. Now it is just to confuse you people, right? I have just rotated my Cartesian coordinates, that is x and y axis. I have just rotated with respect to 30 degree. But the force which I have given, I have actually given the angle with respect to x axis only. So these two angles are just to distract you, right? So it is not the rotation of the x and y axis is nothing to do with the components, right? So still you can find the components. So the x component of this one will be in this fashion, which is parallel to x axis, and the y component will be in this axis, in this direction, which will be equal to parallel to y axis, right? So this component will be 100 cos 40 and this component will be 100 sin 40, just to confuse you people, right? So you should be very careful while solving such type of numerical examples. Now in this numerical example, uh, each force is given to you and the angle made by each force is given. So you have to find the x component of each and every force. Okay, so here the x component will be like this. For this force, the x component will be like this, and for this force x component will be like this, and the y component will be like this. So you have to add this, and you have to subtract this one because it is in this direction. And in the y component you have to add this and subtract this one because it is in the downward direction. So then you will get the net force or the total force in x and y direction. Now coming to the fifth numerical example, you can see here. So force F1 is in the x axis itself. So this was our x axis and this is your y axis. And this angle I didn't give, but after the thing I put it in a message that it is 45 degree to the x axis. Now to solve this one, you need to find the total force in x and y direction. So let me find out that. So the total force in x direction, I will make it as Fx is equal to, first let me find the x component of this force. X component of this force will be like this, and its value will be 60 cos 45. And the y component will be 60 sin 45. Okay, so that is 60 cos 45 and it is 60 sin 45. So when I try to find the total force in x direction, I will take first 60 cos 45 and I will take it plus because as per our sign convention, it is in the positive direction. So 60 cos 45, and when you see this force F1 which is 10 newtons, it is always along x axis x only. So I can directly take it as plus 10. Okay, I can directly take it as plus 10. Or if you want to go ahead with the angles itself, what is the angle made by this force F1 with respect to x axis? It is 0 degree. So I can write it as 10 cos 0. So cos 0 is always 1. And for this one, this force will be minus 10 cos 0. Okay, so no need to take this force because it is in the y direction, right? So if you do this, Fx equal to, so this and this will cancel with each other and you will end up with the 60 cos 45 itself. So which will be 42.42 plus, okay, plus 42.42 newtons, right? And when you try to solve for Fy, okay, so the y component of this one, so this is 60 sin 45 and it is in the positive direction. So I should write it as plus 60 sin 45. Okay, and you should not take this 10 newtons and this 10 newtons because they are purely in the x direction. But you should take this F3 which is in the y direction, but it is downward. So I should take it as minus 100 directly. Okay, so this comes out to be 60 sin 45 minus 100. It comes out to minus 57.57. Okay, so this is how you can solve for this one. So always whenever the forces are given purely in a xx or purely in a yy direction, so you should take them as it is and giving due respect to the sign conventions, giving due respect to the sign convention. Okay, so this is how you can find them. I'm just going to uh, allow you people to unmute, and okay, now you can unmute and ask any questions are there. Yes, students, any questions are there?
So can I ask?
Yes.
So yesterday I send a Google form at 4:45 or 4:46. At the time I didn't saw that it was going to end at 4:30 p.m. But still it accepted the form. Will it
Hmm.
be wrong?
No, 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 it's okay. I can accept that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So any other questions are there regarding the solution?
More time, tell sir, please. Fifth one.
Yes.
Not yet. One more
Sir,
time,
can
tell sir.
you please once again explain that
Fifth
how
one.
did you take 100 Newton directly?
Which one regarding the fifth numerical example you're asking?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Sir,
Let me
explain one
explain.
second, sir. Fifth.
Yes. 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 Okay. I will explain you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You can mute and I will explain. So let me first. Okay. Let me just redraw that one so that it will be easy for me to explain. This is my x-x axis and this is my y-y axis. And the forces given are, this is F1 is 10 newtons. This is 10 newtons and this side it is 10 newtons. Okay. So this side it is F1 equal to 10 newtons and this side it is F2 equal to 10 newtons, and on the downward side we have uh, F3 100 newtons, and on this side we have F4 equal to 60 newtons. Okay, and the angle made by this F4 with respect to x-axis, I told you people to take it as 45 degree. Okay, so you need to find, you have been asked to find what is the total force in x direction and what is the total force in y direction. So I will take each and every force one by one and I will try to find out what is the total force uh, in x and y direction. So first let me take F1. Okay, I want to find what is the total force of F1 in x direction. So you can see here what is the angle made by this F1 with respect to x-axis. It is 0 degree. So I can take it as 10 cos 0. Okay, so 10 cos 0. What is cos 0? Cos 0 is 1. So 10 newtons. Right? Then what is the and I should take it as plus. As per our sign convention, it is in this direction. So I should take it as plus. Now when I come to F2, what is the x component of F2? So I should take it as, once again, the angle made by F2 with respect to x-axis is 0. So I should take it as 10 cos 0. But it is in this direction. So as per our sign convention, I should take it as minus 10 newtons. And F3 you should not take into finding the x component, because the x component of F3 will not be there. It is 0 because F3 is directly acting in this direction. Okay, if you still want to find, so I will try to find that. Now what is the angle made by F3 with respect to x axis? It is 90 degree. So I should take it as 100 cos 90. But what is cos 90? It is 0. So 0 into 100 is 0. Right? Now coming to F4. So what is the x component of F4? The x component of F4 will be in this direction. Okay, so I should take it as plus, plus, sorry. So it should be plus, so it should be plus 60 cos 45. So 60 cos 45 is what? It is plus 42.42. Why I'm putting plus? Because as per our sign convention, the direction of F4 X is in this direction. So I should take it as like this. Now if I try to find what is the net force in X direction, okay, you can see here, this is plus 10, this is minus 10, this is 0, and this is plus 42.42. Okay, so this 10 and this 10 will go, so you'll end up with plus 42.42 newtons. That is plus, it means it is in this direction. Okay, now I will try to find what are the y component of each and every force. Okay, let us try to find what are the y components of each and every force. Okay, first let me find for F1. So F1y. Now, what is the angle made by F1 with respect to x-axis? It is 0. So I can take that. It is, sorry, it is 10 sine 0. What is sine 0? It is 0. So you will get this also as 0. Similarly, F2y also you will get 0. Because the angle made by F2 with respect to x-axis is 0. So minus 10 sine 0 is once again 0. Now when I come to F3, okay, so I should write it as minus, what is the angle made by F3 with respect to x-axis? It is 90 degree. So I should write it as minus 100 sine 90. But what is sine 90? It is 1. So you will get minus 100 newtons. Why minus? Because it is in the downward direction. Now regarding F4, the y component of F4 is in this direction. So it is positive. So it is plus 60 sine 45. F4y is plus 60 sine 45. Okay, so what is 60 sine 45? It comes out to be plus 42.42. Plus 42.42 newtons. Now if I try to find what is the total force in y direction, so first thing is 0 plus 0 and minus 100 plus 42.42. So you will get minus 100 plus 42.42, you will get minus 57.58. Okay, is that okay, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Still you have any doubts in the fifth numerical example? Right. Okay. So no doubts are there. Let me move further. Okay, I have hard muted everyone. Yes. Okay. Let me move further with the next set of concepts. Okay, now the next, till now we have learned what do you mean by the resolution of force. So I will just repeat what the meaning of resolution of force. Okay, so the resolution of force is the one wherein you resolve or you replace a force into two forces. Okay, how you will replace? So those two forces will have the same effect as that of the original force, right? So if you resolve a force into two mutually perpendicular forces like this, okay, two mutually perpendicular forces, so such type of forces are called rectangular components, right? So and we have also learned how to find out the magnitude of the components of forces, that is fx and fy, and f cos theta, f sin theta, where you should use cos and where the term sine will come, and everything we have learned till now in the resolution of forces. Now let me move further and try to explain you one more important concept called composition of forces. Composition of forces, which is totally opposite to the resolution of forces, right? In the meaning also, it is totally opposite to the resolution of forces. Now the composition of forces, let me explain you here. The process of finding out the resultant of a force of a number of given forces is called composition or compounding of forces. Both mean same, right? Let me repeat the statement once again. The process of finding out the resultant force of a number of given forces is called the composition of force. Now let me just explain you what is the meaning of that. Now suppose, say you have some two forces here, okay, and these two forces are concurrent. What is the meaning of concurrent? So the line of action of each force pass through a common point. Now let me say this as say F1. Okay, instead of F1, let me give some other name. Let me say this is force P, and let me say this is force Q. Right? So it is acting at a particle. Now I want to find, okay, I want to find a force R. I want to find a force R which is actually the resultant of these two forces. The meaning is, so when you apply a force P and Q at this particle, the particle may move in this direction. Now I want to find a single force R which will have the same effect as that of P and Q. Now this process of finding out the resultant of a given number of forces is called the composition or compounding of forces. Okay, so this is the meaning of composition or compounding of forces. In resolution, what we used to do, we used to have one single force and we used to split it, or we used to replace it by some other forces, right? So those other forces could be two forces or three forces or whatever. Now in composition, we are doing exactly the opposite of resolution. That is, since we know some few forces are there which are acting at a particular point or particle, and they are the concurrent forces, and I want to find, I want to club them, or I want to compose them, or I want to add all of them and find out a resultant force which will have the same effect as that of the individual forces. Okay, so students, I have unmuted you, all of you. So any doubts are there?
Sir, composition and compounding both are same words, no?
Yeah, composition and compounding both are same words, only just it is a change. Okay, name is changed, but they mean same, both of them. Composition and
Yes, sir.
compounding, both are same.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other doubts are there?
So P and Q can be there perpendicular also.
Yes, they can be perpendicular also. Just a minute, hold on. Yes, go ahead. So any other doubts are there? Yes, as somebody asked me, so those P and Q can be perpendicular forces also. No issue with that. And there may not be only two forces. There might be some more forces also, more than two, like three, four, or something.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, definition of composition of forces, please, sir, repeat it once again
Yes, I will repeat it once again. Right?
so that
Just
I can note it.
actually, no need to take down those things, because I'm going to share all my notes once I complete one module totally. I'm going to share all my handwritten notes, right? So if you still want, I can just tell you that. Okay, the process of finding out the resultant of a force, the resultant force. Okay, I will repeat once again. The process of finding out the resultant force of a number of given forces is called the composition or compounding of forces. Simple as that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Are you clear, students, with the definition of composition of forces?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I have unmuted, muted everyone. So let me move further and tell you one very important concept called parallelogram law of forces. Okay, parallelogram law of forces. Let me just write the statement here, statement of parallelogram law of forces, and after writing the statement, I will explain you what is the meaning of that statement and how to interpret that statement. Okay, so if two forces, acting at a point, okay, be represented in magnitude and direction, okay, by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, by adjacent sides of a parallelogram, okay, drawn to that point, drawn through that point, okay, through that point of application, I must say, application, their resultant, their resultant is completely represented by the diagonal of the parallelogram. Parallelogram drawn through that point. Okay, so this is actually the statement for the parallelogram law of forces. Let me explain you this one by drawing a simple figure so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, right. Let me explain you the statement. If two forces, okay, in this case P and Q are the two forces acting at a point. The point is O now. Okay, be represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. Okay, this is a parallelogram, so the two adjacent sides are OA and OB. Okay, P and Q forces are being represented both in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram drawn through that point. Which point? So this point O, point of application, the resultant, okay, the resultant of these two forces. Resultant, I just explained you what is the meaning of that. The resultant is the one which will give the same effect as that of P and Q together. Okay, the resultant is completely represented by the diagonal of the parallelogram, okay, drawn through that point. So which point? Point O. Okay, so when two forces P and Q, if they are represented both in magnitude and direction, okay, by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, okay, then their resultant, which is represented by R here, okay, their resultant can be represented by the diagonal of that parallelogram drawn through that point. This is the meaning of the composition of forces, okay, or the parallelogram law of forces. Okay, I have unmuted everyone. So any doubts are there, students?
No, sir.
Other students, any doubts are there in understanding the statement? How to prove this and how to find out the how to prove this, how to find out the resultant, I will explain you later. But is there any doubt is there in the statement of the parallelogram law of forces?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Everyone is clear?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me prove this, or let me just tell you how to find out the resultant. What will be the magnitude of finding the resultant? How to find that? Let me just do that. So for that, what I will do, I will just produce this line, okay, and let me call this as point C, and I will drop a perpendicular from point C on this horizontal line. Okay, let me call this as say D. And of course, one more thing I wanted to tell you, the angle made by the resultant R is theta with respect to P. Okay, the angle made by the resultant R with respect to the force P is theta, and the angle between the two forces, which is alpha. Okay, this you can see the angle between the two forces P and Q is actually alpha. So this is very, very important to understand. Okay, so after that, what I will do, you can see here AC being equal, okay, where is the AC? See this, AC being equal and parallel to OB, you can see AC is equal and parallel to OB, represent in magnitude and direction of force Q. Okay, if this is Q, this also should be Q, because AC is parallel to OB, right? So then in that case, yeah, this is actually 90 degree. In that case, can I take like this, angle CAD is equal to angle BOA equal to alpha. That is angle CAD, that is this angle is equal to this angle, which is alpha. Okay. Therefore, I can say that OD is equal to OA plus AD. I can easily say that OD, that is from here to here, is equal to OA plus AD, right? So I can rewrite this as OD is equal to OA plus AD. Okay, so this distance I can rewrite this as AC cos alpha. AC cos alpha. Therefore, OD is equal to OD is equal to, but what is OA in magnitude? It is P. Okay, but what is AC in magnitude? It is Q. It is Q cos alpha, right? So let me just highlight this one and keep it as it is for our future calculations. And also I can say that CD is equal to AC sin alpha. That is CD. CD is equal to AC sin alpha. Okay, that is CD is equal to, but what is AC? AC in magnitude is nothing but Q. q sine alpha. Let me keep this also as it is for my future reference. Okay. Now in right angle triangle ODC, in right angle triangle OD and C, okay, as per the Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse is OC. So therefore I can write it as OC square is equal to OD square plus DC square. As per the Pythagoras theorem, from right angle triangle ODC, OC square is equal to OD square plus CD square. Okay, but what is OC in magnitude? It is nothing but R. R square is equal to OD. OD I have already calculated here. P plus Q cos alpha. Whole square plus CD also have calculated Q sin alpha whole square. Right? So I can rewrite this as, this is nothing but A plus B whole square. All right. So I can rewrite this as R square is equal to P square Q square cos square alpha plus 2PQ cos alpha, and this one, that is Q square sin square alpha. Now you can see here Q square cos square alpha, Q square sin square alpha. If I take Q square common, so it will be sin square alpha plus cos square alpha, and you know that from the trigonometry sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So I can write this as P square plus Q square into 1, because cos square alpha plus sin square alpha it will be 1 plus 2PQ cos alpha. But I want exactly the value of R. So squaring on both sides, I can write this as yes, students. I have unmuted everyone. Is there any doubt in this? Any doubt is there?
So, can you explain the first part again?
Which one? Which part?
A AC cos alpha.
This AC, this here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, you can see here, if you take this right angle triangle, okay, uh, OD actually, okay, that is from here up to here. That is from here. O to D is nothing but OA plus AD. That you agree? So OD I will keep it as it is. OA also I will keep it as it is. But AD can be represented as AC cos alpha. Cos alpha formula you can use, and AD can be named it as AD is equal to AC cos alpha. That is cos alpha. That is in this right angle triangle. You can see that it is AD divided by AC. So AD is equal to AC cos alpha. But what is AC? AC in magnitude is nothing but Q. So Q cos alpha. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Similarly, here you have to use sin alpha formula. And then you have to take this right angle triangle ODC. So if you take OC will be your hypotenuse. So OC square is equal to OD square plus DC square as per the Pythagoras theorem. But what is OD? It is nothing but OA plus AD. This I have written here. OD is equal to P plus Q cos alpha. And CD also I have written here Q sin alpha. And you can just do some simple mathematics to get the value of the resultant R in terms of P, Q and alpha. And what is alpha? Alpha is the angle made by the two forces, and that is angle between the two forces. So if you know P and Q forces and the angle between them, you can easily find the resultant of that.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, here in this one, no, R square is equal to P square plus Q square cos square alpha plus 2PQ cos alpha plus Q square sin square alpha is there, no sir?
Yes,
Then
okay.
here Q square cos square alpha plus Q square sin square alpha gets 1.
No, not total. Q square you have to take common. Okay, then in the
Okay.
bracket cos square alpha plus sin square alpha. So from
Okay.
trigonometry, you know sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So
Okay.
only that Q square will remain outside.
Okay. Sir.
Any other doubts, students?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, why we didn't consider theta in place of alpha, sir?
Which one? Which one you want to say? So this theta.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what you want to consider theta? Where you will take the advantage of theta?
No, sir. Why we didn't consider in all derivations, sir?
No, see here,
But
theta, see, when you take angle CAD, okay, where is that CAD? Here it is. This angle is CAD, right? So this angle is nothing but this angle, alpha,
yes, sir.
okay? This theta is the angle made by R with respect to P. So this angle alpha and this angle alpha are same. So this theta will not come into picture anywhere.
Yes, sir.
So that's why we didn't consider that one.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other doubts, students?
Sir, can I ask?
Yes.
So if alpha is more than 90 degrees, then still this parallelogram law of forces will be applied?
Yes, it can be applied.
Okay, sir.
I will tell you. I will tell you. In next few of the numerical examples, you will come to know how you can apply that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. But now you assume that alpha is less than 90 degree at this point of time. Yes. Any other doubts are there?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is giving you the magnitude of R, but it is not giving you the direction of R. I mean to say, you also need to find what is the value of theta, right? So that is the angle made by resultant with respect to P. So that you need to find. So that is very simple. You can see here. If you take, if I can just write here. So tan theta is equal to CD divided by OD. Do you agree? Tan theta is equal to CD divided by OD. But what is CD? CD is, let me write here. So tan theta. So CD is Q sin alpha. And what is OD? OD is P plus Q cos alpha. So this actually will give you the direction of the resultant R. That is, the angle made by the R with respect to P will be given by this formula, and the magnitude of the resultant will be given by this formula. Is that clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts are there?
Sir, I didn't understand about tan theta is CD by OD, sir.
See, so it's very simple. You consider right angle triangle OCD. So tan theta is equal to CD divided by OD.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, CD is nothing but Q sin alpha, and OD is nothing but P plus Q cos alpha. That we have
Okay,
already derived here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other doubts are there? Yes. Any doubts are there, students?
No, sir.
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 No, right?
Sir.
So, right. So we'll take a few of the numerical examples in my next class based on this parallelogram law of forces, and then you will be much more clear with the understanding.